Badmouth me and assume I don't speak the language? I'll kill you with kindness. I am a light-skinned Latina American and I lived in Korea for a couple of years during university and grad school, as my major was Korean interpretation and translation. During my time in Korea I was lucky enough to attend music shows from time to time.
For the K-pop uninitiated, music shows are free to enter, provided you have at least one of three items: A copy of the album of the group you're coming to see, B, proof of purchase of the album digitally on one of the approved music vendors in Korea, or C, the official lightstick from the most recent concert.
Priority entry was always given to official fan club members who had all three, then fan club members who had two of the three, and then fan club members who had one. After that came non-members in the same priority tier. The group I had come to see hadn't opened official fan club registration in almost a decade, so the group's management decided to do away with the fan club priority and did it on a first-come, first-served basis, but kept the whole three items go first, then two, then one thing. I had all three and I got there early, so I got a good spot in line. These queues often had us waiting outside for hours while the previous round of filming finished up. The thing about these music show venues is, they're very small. They have limited capacity and allow 2 to 3 groups fans in to watch them film at a time, so not all people who queue for a group get in. In this particular instance, there was trouble with foreign fans causing trouble by taking pictures, not listening to instructions, so venue staff literally went through and quizzed each foreigner in line on their Korean. If you couldn't understand, you were booted. I passed with flying colors and kept my spot in line. Here's where the revenge starts. Because of the aforementioned issues, a lot of Korean fans hated international fans with a passion. For this group in particular, so many people were pissed that they had to wait in line behind foreigners, because they'd done away with the official fan club priority. Now here's me, sitting alone in a queue outside on a hot summer day. A group of Korean girls sat in front of me, and a lone Korean girl talking on her phone sat behind me. I was minding my own business playing games on my phone after passing my Korean quiz with the staff, when I heard the girl behind me talking shit. She was chatting with a friend, I suspect because she was dropping a lot of curse words, and specifically mentioned these foreign roaches ruining things for us. I want to kill them. She mentioned me in particular and said that she bet I'd bribe the staff to keep my spot in line even though I couldn't understand Korean. Okay, so. It's harmless shit talk. I don't know this girl and I don't know her friend. In the long run, it doesn't affect me, right? But it really rubbed me the wrong way, especially because she was talking quite loudly. So I grabbed my wallet, politely and quietly asked the Korean girls in front of me to watch my bag and hold my place in line, and went to the convenience store. I bought a round of water for everyone. It was heavy. I had about a dozen bottles of water. I get back to my spot in line, thanked the girls in front of me for holding my spot, then gave them each a water. I gave a water to the group in front of them too. Then I kept one for myself and turned around and handed one to the girl on the phone with a smile. Immediately she lit up and thanked me in English, smiling bright and taking her phone away from her ear. As I hand her her water, I say in perfect Korean and still smiling, the next time you loudly shit talk the foreigners, make sure they can't actually understand you. When I tell you it went silent in the immediate area, you could hear a pin drop. Her smile melted off her face faster than an ice cream cone on Florida pavement. She turned beet red and muttered to her friend on the phone that she had to go and sheepishly apologized. I accepted, she had water, and I felt better about myself. Tricked my mom into finally admitting that my cooking was good. I've been enrolled in a cooking school for over a year and my mom, she's never been supportive. Because I dropped out of a nursing program to get into a cooking school. She's always making snide comments about how I should have been a nurse or a lawyer, or how I'll only ever be a subservient housewife with this, and when I do make something, she always criticizes it. Like she's Gordon Ramsay or something. Oh, too much salt. It's undercooked. It looks like crap. Even though, pretty much everyone else says the opposite. She's looking for any little thing she can critique about my cooking. She keeps telling me I can't cook and need to get into a real career. I've cooked 3-course dinners for the family and they always get positive reviews, except for her. She had a party for her work friends. I made a whole tray of my specialty take on homemade meatballs, a recipe I conceptualized myself, my signature dish. Everyone kept going back and getting more, so many that they ran out. I asked Mom what she thought. She said they were drunk, they couldn't taste anything. So, I figured if I wanted to get her to compliment my cooking, I'd have to trick her. I cooked her a meal, one of her favorites from scratch, her biggest weakness that she can never resist. Dressed it up to look professional and put it in a generic to-go box and had my boyfriend take video of me preparing it, start to finish. I called her and told her that my boyfriend and I were eating at this diner, that doesn't exist, made up a fake name for it and everything. I told her they had her favorite meal and asked if she wanted us to bring her one. Of course, she said yes. I brought the dish and told her more about the fake diner. She started eating it and complimented how good it was. How she wanted to go there and get another one. After she was almost through with the meal, I asked her for her honest opinions, so we could write a review on Yelp. She went on for 10 minutes about how great it was and then I sprung it on her. That I cooked it. Her tone changed. She put the fork down and said she was lying, that it tasted like crap. My boyfriend showed her the video, she Googled the restaurant and it didn't show up. She started pointing out flaws with the meal, like how there was too much sauce and it was really spicy and burned her mouth. I asked her why she almost finished the whole thing if it was so spicy. She didn't say anything, so I just asked her if she was ready to admit it. She said no, so we left but I spotted her eating it from the other room. I asked her again and she laughed and finally told me yes. That I'm a good chef. So, after a year of doubting I was a good chef and holding my dreams back, she finally admitted it.
Truck driver was tired of getting cut off. So I witnessed this yesterday and it was hilarious, super short I think. We were driving through a heavy construction area where a lane was closed off on a highway in Cali. I was right behind a truck driver and we had merged over already to the second lane, but there was still room left on the first lane. There were many cars going way faster than the flow of traffic, stopped 10 miles per hour, on that first lane just to pass as many people up as possible. I could see in my rear view mirror that a large SUV was zooming up to pass up, and the truck driver in front of me moves across the first lane to cover it up. The SUV driver slams the brakes and tries going around using the shoulder, past the yellow line, and the truck driver keeps moving to completely block the SUV's passage. My fam is just cracking up and I get closer to the truck and close the hole between the first and second lane to make sure the SUV can't pass and cut the truck driver off that way either. The SUV driver then goes behind me and as he exits the highway, he flipped off the truck driver. Such an effective and petty little revenge. Beep at me. Beep at you.
I was grabbing some bagels for my family this morning. I left the store hands filled with bagels, bag and iced coffees and stepped off the sidewalk to cross the parking lot. I was only a few steps away from the curb when a car turned into the parking lot from the road and barreled toward me, beep beep beeping their horn. I stopped crossing the lot and they swerved around me at an unsafe rate of speed, surely off to some life-threatening emergency. Oh wait, no emergency, they just needed to park to get bagels too. I got in my car and waited. They were gathering their belongings and turning the car off. So I opened my straw and prepped my iced coffee. The woman finally exits her car for the bagel shop and wouldn't you know it, it was the same exact time that I was planning on leaving. As she began to traverse the parking lot, I laid on my horn. The woman was so startled she dropped her car keys. I slowly drove past her just sipping my iced coffee.